Welcome to the Vision and Purpose podcast, where we dive deep into the lives of incredible people who have made a mark on the world. Join us as we explore the journeys, stories, and passions of individuals who have achieved extraordinary feats, shattered barriers, and inspired us all. And now your host, Dr. Sharon H. Porter. Great day, everyone, and welcome to the Vision and Purpose podcast. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, creator and host. And today I am featuring executive film producer, director, writer, and international recording artist, Butta B-Rocka. Butta B-Rocka, how are you today?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
Doing great. I tell you, I introduced you with a lot of titles, but I want you to please just take a moment to share who Butta B-Rocka really is.
Absolutely. I want to first say thank you so much for having me on your show. I do appreciate it. Everyone, my name is Butta B-Rocka. I am an international top charting recording artist. I am also an executive film producer, writer, director, actor. I'm also a best-selling author. I host a podcast that's on 7 syndicated stations overseas, as well as I have a nonprofit called Artists Rock the Mic. So that's a little bit about
love it. I can't wait to dive into all of those things. The first thing, because I know I watch you on social media, I've seen all of the excitement. You just released your dynamic first movie, right? The Finding the Perfect Guy. And let me tell you, you left me like, okay, what's going to happen next? I've got to first ask you to please start out how you started on this journey of movie producing. And not only producing, but you wrote, you starred in, your music was a part of it. You were all in there.
I was definitely all in the mix.
And I love it. How did it start for you?
Well, what happened is COVID happened. I couldn't tour singing. Actually, I couldn't tour since 2019. I had torn meniscus, torn ACL, and I dislocated my shoulder. But I got released in April of 2020, and I was ready to go back on the road. I was ready to do this big tour over in Africa. But in March of 2020, COVID happened. So I already had a whole year off. Now I got another year off. And I had to really think of, okay, what in the world am I going to do? And so I had always wanted to write a film, but I didn't know how. I had wrote a play before. I had 6 national recording artists in my play. So I kind of understood the formatting and everything, but it is different. It's different from writing music. A play is completely different. And then writing a film is on a whole different level as well. But I wanted to try it. And I believe if God can give you a vision, then that's the blueprint for me to take it there, and to just go for it. I don't have to know how everything is going to happen. I just got to take the steps. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, I want to do a film.
Wow.
Never done a film. Never. Wow. I tried to get funding. People was like, yo, we know you from music. We support you in your music ventures. We have never seen you do a film ever, so I couldn't get the backing. So I backed myself, put my own money up, because if you believe in something, you should be able to put your own money up anyway. So put my own money up, I start figuring out what it was going to cost to get it done, how many pages, because I had wrote 89 pages. I didn't understand the breakdown of how that equated in the movie world. That's, so it was just so many things that I had to learn. I did hire some people to work along with me, but I was very hands-on on every single thing in my production, because I believe if you are going to be over something and run something, you can't have somebody else do your business and you don't even know what it is.
Wow.
I dove right in, but originally I was going to do series. I had wrote 13 series. And when I found out the cost to do all of these films, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to make this smaller. So I was able to turn it into a feature film. And like I said, I had to go find the people that was going to be able to film it. I called a lot of my friends that helped me in the music industry and that helped me with my play that I did, and said, look, this is the new lane that I'm going in. none of us has been here, but I need y'all to help me. And we learned together. We grew it together. And each day that we filmed was completely different. I had a cast of 32. I had a crew of, I think it was 12 total between the ones that I hired and my friends. And you have to learn how to deal with the different personalities. You got to learn deal with the different elements. Sometimes it might rain outside and you're trying to do outside shots. So you got to improvise. It was so many things that I had to learn. So.
Wow. I really applaud you, because it truly is the example of God give you the vision, he'll make the provision for you. And that's exactly what happened here. And I'm going to tell you, the first time I watched it, I didn't know until the end that it was you starring in it. I said, oh my God, now I got to go all the way back, watch it again. I watched it at least 4 times.
Oh, that's good.
I did, absolutely. Because again, like I said, the first time I didn't realize you were starring in it till I saw the credits roll. I was like, wait a minute. I went back. I was like, just so amazing. And then I heard your music. I mean, just so amazing. And I love that. And so can you walk us through, as a first-time movie producer, writer, what is that process like from conception to completion?
Oh my God. It's hard. I'm not even gonna lie. Trying to visualize and get it all out on paper and then give it to someone else. I ain't gonna lie, you're scared to give it. This is your baby and you want people to see your vision. And so with a film, you really have to, from every part of it. She walked in the room and sat on the couch, and you got to be so descriptive, right? So I had to tell every single person how I wanted it to be framed, what I wanted each person to do. It was a lot. But it was the best experience of my life. Honestly.
Wow, I love it. And I have to tell you, my favorite character is Uncle Bobby. I have to.
Oh my God, I love me some Uncle Bobby.
That was my absolute favorite character.
Yeah.
I was like, and so this storyline, when you are writing a script, like what comes to play? Is it truth with some creativity? How, and I know this is your first movie, but I know it's not your last.
It's
so
definitely.
I know that, absolutely. So what are you looking for in a script? Like when you were writing this, can you take us through that process?
Absolutely. When I was writing this, I wanted to write something that would be relatable to most people. And one of the things that I heard from people that was in the theater when I premiered it to people that looked at it online is they've dated at least one of these guys. So all of the dating of the guys wasn't somebody that I personally, dated, but it was somebody that was either I dated or one of my friends dated. And the guy that is the mama's boy that had the tickets and wanted me to go away on the trip, that was true. That was really true. After the second date, he was really trying to get.
Oh, wow. He was like, fool, I ain't going nowhere with you.
It was too much.
Wow, interesting. I love that. And it is relatable. That was the one thing that I took out of it as well. Just so relatable. Going through that whole process of finding the perfect guy. So I love that.
Which one of the guys have you dated?
So, that is a good question. So the last one was Frank, right? The one that you left us with the cliffhanger. I would say I can relate to that one more so because it was truly the perfect guy until it wasn't. You know what I mean? There were no, like the rest of them, like very soon you were like, no, that's a negative,
Yeah.
So I really related to the Frank, and that's why when it said to be continued, I was like, because I really like, okay, what's going to happen? This is the perfect guy, and now you have this, which we won't share.
Right.
For people to come look at it, but that that was relatable to me. And so it just made you really sit there and think about the process that you really do go through with dating. And so
Absolutely.
that was, to me, that was it. The title, everything was just perfect for that. So I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
I really did.
You was talking about Uncle Bobby, and it was very important to bring him into the mix because everybody has that one crazy family member that you don't want to bring none of your dates around ever. And your date always seems to go around that person that you know is gonna act a fool. So I wanted to make sure that we had him in there to represent for the families, the crazy families
I
out there.
love that. Now, collaboration in this, you said you had cast of 32, a crew of 12. We can't do the work alone. We already know that, even though, it's your vision, but you still have to have people there to help you, to even sometimes guide you. But how do you go about assembling the perfect group, the cast? I know you said there were friends, and then there's some that you had to pay, the crew. You have to have a good, like you even mentioned it, dealing with different attitudes and personalities. So how do you go about assembling the right mix?
You pray and hope that it's the right mix, because like we auditioned every single person of the 32 cast. I knew, of course, both of my boys are in the film. My husband is in the film. Uncle Bobby is a friend of mine, and Deshaun was
I
a
love
friend of mine.
Deshaun too. Oh my
So
God.
of the 32, I knew 5 people.
Wow. Okay.
So the rest of them we had to cast. We had to I gave them different parts of the script that I wanted to see them portray. Some of the people they did good, but I'm like, okay, I want to put them on this part. I want to put them on this part. Lauren, who ended up being one of our girlfriends, I liked her so much, I made her part even more.
Okay.
Because she was that good, and we kept trying to figure out exactly what to give her. And then as far as picking crew and different stuff like that, I used, because people have helped me in my music and in my play, I used their strengths that they already were good with. So one of my girlfriend, who is my stylist for my music and all my music videos and everything, she styled everybody for the film. My husband did dual roles. He is a celebrity chef, so he cooked all the meals for everybody and played his part in the film.
Wow.
My mom was the nurse on set, and the mother of the crew.
Wow.
And then, like I said, I just leaned on, especially with my friends, I leaned on their strength. One of my girlfriends, she designs anyway, so she became my set designer. We was giving out titles. Giving them. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And then the crew that I hired to actually shoot the film and stuff like that, they already came as a group. And so how I selected them was based off of the reels that they sent me, and then based off of our conversation and getting the vibe with them. And once I saw that they understood my vision, then that's how I picked them. But I was looking at different companies, looking at their prices, looking at, the work that they've already done, trying to see which was going to be a good fit for me.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you.
Process, exactly. And so many producers, they have a specific style or signature that they can call their own for their work. But what elements or themes, for that matter, do you think that define your approach in this film?
Well, I don't know if I have a signature yet because I haven't done another one.
Okay.
So I don't have anything to compare and be like, oh, she did that on this one and she did this one and that one. So that's our signature move. I don't think I have a signature yet.
Okay.
It's coming because I have 7 other projects that I'm working on. So
oh my God.
The signature will come out.
I cannot wait. Oh my goodness. And so, before the movie thing, you were booming in music. So I would love to just talk a little bit about your music, because for most people, that's where they know you from. So
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about your start in music?
Oh man, I started professionally at age 13. I've been in the music industry for a very long time. I was living in Tampa. We ended up coming up to Atlanta, working with Bobby Brown's camp and Usher. I'm really giving my age. Usher had just turned 15 with Call Me the Mac. We was opening up all his shows. His co-manager was our co-manager and everything. And so, that's where the roots started. But from that journey, I have had the pleasure of working with from Akon, TLC, Nas, Collective Soul, Zach Brown, Kanye West, Janet Jackson. I mean, I've had a few people that I've been able to work with and travel the world touring, singing, doing what I love to do. I left corporate in 2007. But like I had mentioned when we first started talking in 2019, I failed. I was getting ready. I was in a rehearsal getting ready for a show here in Atlanta. And I pivoted one too many times and stuck out my arm because my knee popped. I stuck out my arm to catch my fall. And I ended up torn meniscus, torn ACL, and dislocated my shoulder. I had no range of motion in my shoulder for 6 months. And I had to do physical therapy 3 times a week for an entire year. I had to walk with a walker for 3 months, walk with a cane for 2 months, and literally start back over. It was tough. Yeah,
Wow.
it was real tough.
Wow. And that was when?
2019.
Wow. Okay. So you've recovered from
Oh,
all
yeah,
of
I've
that?
definitely
Okay.
recovered.
Wow.
But you know what's so crazy is I remember, so I fell in December of 2018. I was getting ready for the New Year's Eve party to bring in 2019, but I fell.
Mhm.
And I was supposed to have the surgery immediately, right? But I still had to go to Vegas, LA, Mexico, and Chile. In Vegas is where I performed with Les Brown, Wesley Snipes, Will Ferrell, and all these other people. I couldn't miss that. I couldn't miss it.
Wow.
In Mexico and Chile, those were, big opportunities that I couldn't miss. But when I came back from Chile, my knee it went from a partial tear, which would have only been 6 weeks of recovery time, to a full tear, which is the reason why it was an entire year. But I remember waking up from the table because they couldn't tell based off of the MRI. I remember waking up off the table and they told me, yeah, it's going to be a year. Now, instantly, I was like, oh my God, because, as a musician, you don't have a backup plan. You don't get no paid time off or sick leave. You don't get none of that. And I have 2 young men at that time. My oldest was in the 12th grade, which is the most expensive year. And my youngest was in the 11th grade.
Wow.
So I woke up to, oh my God, like it was like everything hit me at once because, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
And I remember going home and I got in bed and I was like, okay, so I can either sit here and grovel and cry about it, or I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do. And then that's when Les Brown called me on the phone and he was telling me, I know you feel like this is a setback, but this is a setup for something greater. And I cried and I went to sleep and I said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Since then, so many things have been birthed. My book became an Amazon bestseller in 7 hours of my release. We started with my boys. We started a teen magazine called Defiant Ones Teen Magazine that from Disney, Miami Dolphins, Nickelodeon, all these companies start contacting them because they were highlighting teens and young adults, but not only, the big celebrities that were teens, but they was talking about financial literacy. They was talking about the mental health and wellness of teens and young adults and stuff. So people started really gravitating to us, so much so that the boys and I were on a panel with Mark Cuban and Gene Simmons talking about entrepreneurships. Like doors just opened. You know what I'm saying? I started my podcast as something to do because I'm home and I'm creative and I don't have nothing else to do but time. So I started the podcast, and then I've toured so much overseas. When I put the podcast out there, other countries that know me that I've performed was like, hey, we would like to host you on our station. We would like to put you on our station. So I'm in Italy, I'm in London, I'm in Nigeria, South Africa, Canada. I'm missing someplace. But
That's
you get
amazing. Yes, absolutely.
like doors just open where I was only one-dimensional with music. It was only going to be music, music, music. And had I not injured myself, I wouldn't have had to take those detours.
Right.
to find myself, so I'm I'm glad that it happened, if that makes any sense, because it
Absolutely.
forced me to dig deeper.
Wow, I love it. Your story is amazing.
Thank
So,
you.
so how do you navigate the balance between artistic appreciation, exploration, and then staying true to yourself? How do you navigate that?
Well, that's easy because every single thing I do, if I'm over it, I'm gonna do it my way.
I love
That's
it.
the one great thing about it. So
Love it.
when I hired some people, they were trying to tell me what to do, right? But you're not going to tell me what to do with my film. You can give me suggestions, not saying that I'm not open, and something you say might make sense. I might listen to it. If it makes sense, then I'll do it, type of situation, but we're not going to taint my idea
Yes.
because you've done things. I'm going to get my idea out there. If it works, it works. If it don't work, it don't work. But I've always been, from my music to anything that I put out, I want to be authentically me.
Yes.
And so, it's very easy, especially as a singer, it's very easy to conform to what other people want you to be. So I try to, as best as possible, stay true to myself. So everything that I put out is something that I want to put out, and it's because I did it, and it's because I wanted to do it.
I love that. I really do. And like I was saying before we went on air, I love the true elements that you did have in the film. Like, to me, that was so awesome. Because when I think you were in the club and you were telling someone, well, I'm from Kentucky, but I was like, okay, she is from Kentucky. So I was like, that is so awesome. And that's when I thought, I said, okay, that must be her voice. I mean, just everything. I absolutely love that. I love that.
Thank
And so,
you.
do you see yourself continuing to go down that line? Or, and I guess, like you said, this is your first one. So, who knows how you're going to eventually be, but that must feel good to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easy to write about something that you know about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I can embellish on what my truths are, but it'll be easier for me to navigate it, as opposed to completely making something
Right.
up that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm not going to write about shoot 'em up bang bangs because I don't know nothing about it. I don't know the slang. I ain't even gonna act like I know it, so I gotta stay true to what I do know and stay in the lanes that I do know.
Yeah.
I know about love, I know about romance,
I love it.
I know about, just norm, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. I'm telling you, I just love everything about this. So how do you, and so as a new film producer, but not really new to the business of all of this, how do you, or do you find yourself helping others at this point? Even though you're just starting out, you're miles ahead of other people who, number one, aspire to do it, right? Or just absolutely just starting out. Do you find yourself trying to help others?
I have always been one that helps others, from the music industry, even in this. One of the things that people were saying to me is I should hire, because I know a lot of mainstream artists, right? And I know a lot of big actors that's in the industry. And people's like, oh, you should hire such and such. You already know them. And to me, I would rather give that person that doesn't have the shot, because I feel like I'm an underdog, right? And I'm an underdog that's had the pleasure of being able to get out there. But one of the things that I didn't see that happened to me is it wasn't people that I knew that was a little higher than me didn't come back to reach up and say, hey, let me bring you on with me. Right. But if I have the opportunity to do that, that's what I do. So that's why when I get called for these big shows, although I can do the show completely by myself, if I can bring my other sister up or one of my friends that's a musician up and give them a platform that they wouldn't have had, why wouldn't I? I got to hire somebody anyway. You know what I mean? So I've always been like that. And even with the film, I was able to support other people that has been in the film industry that were mainly backgrounds or usually only had one-liners, and I was able to give them multiple roles or make them a supporting role and stuff like that. So that felt really good for me. I didn't want to get all the mainstream. Yes, I could have, but I didn't want to intentionally. And people kept trying to get me to just sell the film, not even just sell the script. Sorry, they wanted me to just sell it, and I'm like, no, because I want to be able to tell my story. I want to put it in. I want to do it the way I want to do it. Even for myself, the roles that I've gotten in other people's film has been smaller. I'm gonna write the role that I want to see myself in.
Exactly.
Like, when we do it, I'm going
I
to the
love
roles
it.
I want to see. I'm going to put my music in it. I'm going to do everything that I
Yes.
see, that I feel like I'm capable of doing. I feel like I am just as capable as the mainstreams.
I
I feel
love
like the
it.
people that was in my film are just as capable as the mainstream. All we need is that shot.
I love that. I really do. So Atlanta. So do you feel that move has been the best thing for you since you've been there? And I don't know, have you been there for a while?
I've been here since 95,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I definitely feel like Atlanta, I mean, it's opened so many doors for me. I remember when we used to come up here, and I used to see so many Black and brown people that were doing it. And I wasn't used to seeing that in Tampa when I was younger. And I saw it here, and it definitely, made me want to come here. And I think that, in some places that you live, you don't have the same opportunities, but Atlanta gives you a little bit more leeway for everybody to be able to get it, no matter what color they are. So,
Oh my goodness. I love it. I'm gonna tell you, I cannot
yeah.
wait. And I'm gonna look for the other films that you were in because you have truly, truly created a fan in me. And so I'm just really excited about everything that's to come for you. I love your spirit, and I love the fact that you really genuinely care about bringing the next one on, opening the door for the next one, because that's hugely important for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always I call myself the Apollo of everything, because if you think back to Showtime at the Apollo, how many amazing people came through the doors of that place that are now doing great things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that. And also on that show, you got the amateurs, but then it's sprinkled with the experienced ones, right? I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That resonates with me so much. And so I will always support the not so well known, you know what I mean? Because I believe in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because you're doing that, that just resonates with me so much. So, and you're going to be continually to be blessed with that. I know you will.
I appreciate it.
I
That's
know
one of the
you will.
things. That's one of the things that I'm doing. So I ended up having my premiere at Studio Movie Grill here in Atlanta, Georgia. With Studio Movie Grill is a big theater here, and I bought out the biggest room on the biggest night, and we sold out in 2 weeks. And it was star-studded. Les Brown and all these other big people came out to see me. We had two-step and repeats, all these reporters and everything. And at that time, I had did the film, and I wanted to see it on the big screen. You put yourself in places that you see yourself in.
Yeah.
So I saw myself in the big screen. I wanted to be there amongst all the other films because that's where I belong, right? And so we did it there. And afterwards, I ended up getting 6 distribution offers because I didn't have any offers at that time, but I ended up getting 6 distribution offers, and we ended up signing with one. The film has officially been out for 2 months, and it's now on 12 different platforms. The first one that got picked up on was Amazon Prime, which is one of the harder ones to get on. Then it got picked on Tubi and all these other stations, but I'm on 12 different
That's
stations.
amazing.
I'm also in India on a station and in Africa. So I'm like, holy cow. And, it's just been such an amazing experience. But now what I did, I took my company, because I started a film company called BBR Media Group.
Yes, I saw that.
And so what I did is I now opened it up to other filmmakers, because there is no greater feeling than seeing the hard work that you've done on the big screen. So I made it free for filmmakers to submit their films, and the only people who are paying are the people coming out to support it. I have I have all of these big panelists. I have this major casting director that's coming out there. That's a panelist. One of my friends, Nakia Dillard, he is a amazing actor that's from The Wire, from BMF. He's from Black Lightning and The Wonder Years. He's coming out, he's flying down from Philly just to be on my project. I have the third largest Black owner of a film facility here in Georgia that's coming out. And I just got an email right before I got on this call. There's a big music publishing company out of Nashville that is coming down to be a part of this. So I'm like, holy cow.
Wow.
But we opened it up, for these filmmakers. Some of them have had their stuff have had their stuff in screenings, but I don't think they've had it in no big screen. Not in no theater.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see where this leads you. I'm excited.
Thank you.
I'm excited, and I can't wait to go back to watch again so I can catch some things I missed. This is exciting. Where can people connect with you? What's coming up for you? Like, just share everything you need to let the people know.
Okay. So you can find me on all social media at Butta B-Rocka. That's BUTTA BROCKA, Butta B-Rocka. And that's my website, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I made it so easy. Branding is everything. Everything is Butta B-Rocka. So that's how you can find me. You can also find me under BBR Media Group or BBR Indie Films. And the film is under findingtheperfectguy.com. But if you go online, you'll see it stream. I mean, it's on a lot of different platforms right now. So you'll see that. And I forgot your last question. Oh, what's next for me? Yeah. So again, November 1st at Studio Movie Grill, we are literally halfway sold out already. So I'm like, I'm ecstatic. We just went today to the studio because I believe in getting prepared and making sure that everything is right. So we was running the films, making sure that we had the transitions right and everything. Because I want to make sure I give the filmmakers, the proper way to introduce them and share their films and everything. I want them to have the royal treatment, That's
awesome.
So we was just doing that. So get your tickets at bbrmediagroup.com. And then I have a single out that went number 46 on the charts called Time Stands Still. Make sure that you download it, look at the video, support. And I'm working on another single that's going to come out hopefully by January.
I love it. Yeah. Guys, you heard it. I tell you, go and follow Miss Butta B-Rocka. I thank you. Thank you for taking the time out and sharing a little more about all the things that you're doing. I say congratulations. I say continued success. And blessings are coming your way because your energy is amazing. So thank you for that, guys. I have had the pleasure of talking with Ms. Butta B-Rocka, executive film producer, director, writer, international recording artist, author, podcaster, you name it, that's what she is. So thank you so much. And guys, thank you for joining Vision and Purpose Podcast. You can catch us every Thursday, 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time on any of the podcasting platforms. So thank you and have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining another episode of Vision and Purpose Podcast. Please share, like, and subscribe. Please join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.